folks, today we're going to talk about the beginning of your stew. We're not going to do the whole stew. That's a very lengthy segment. This is just a quick overview about the stew meat and what to do to get it started. So here I have my cast iron pan. I'm going to use my wok here, but you can use your flat cast iron if you want. The reason we like to use cast iron is because it holds the temperature really well. So every time you put a piece of meat in, you're not going to bog down your whole cooking surface. And yeah, I'm using quite a bit. It's not really deep frying, but we are actually going to have quite a bit of oil around this meat while we're cooking it. And what we're going to do is we're going to be searing in some more of the juices. But because this is a stew and we're going to cook it for quite a while and extract a lot of that juice, it's really putting a coating on it that you're going to feel and you're going to taste in your mouth. Also, we're going to use this cornstarch, which is what we're using. You could use flour also if you want, but we use cornstarch because we're trying to make this gluten-free. A little bit of this cornstarch is going to remain in this dish, which we're going to leave all this oil in here when we do this. That's why we use bacon grease for flavor. You'll see as you watch more and more of these "What's Up, Chefy" segments, we don't waste anything, okay? This is called inclusion cooking. So everything that's going in to our dishes, stay in our dishes. So here we have our stew meat. And this is from a cow that we purchased. I highly recommend doing just that. We went in with our son. We got it from a local farmer who pretty much just puts the cows on his property to graze them so that they can chew down the grass for him and whatnot, and then he sells off what he doesn't need every year. We got one, never corn finished, really good stuff. Wasn't organic, doesn't have to be. I know the guy, I know what his practices are, sometimes better than organic. Alrighty then. So we're gonna take this meat. This is for stew meat. It was labeled stew meat. Pretty lean. If you look, not a lot of marbling in here. Pretty darn tootin' lean. So we're gonna have to cook the moisture into that instead of try to seal it inside. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take this cornstarch and we're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to it. You can use whatever kind of pepper you want, it doesn't really matter. I like cracked pepper, I like the way it tastes. Sometimes I like when you get one of those little wonderful bursts in your teeth when you're chewing. Sometimes it's even like an hour afterwards and you take a little bite and you go, oh, that was a pepper kernel I'm in heaven. It's awesome, I love it, sorry. Little diatribe there for you. So some salt in with this cornstarch. Now our oil has gotten hot, that pan was already hot. And we're gonna dredge each piece into the cornstarch. And you can see here, dredging, which just means to coat it thoroughly, is to dredge. Now we're gonna probably get rid of this cornstarch when we're done, although we could save it if we wanna thicken it further. I won't have to thicken my stew any further once it's done. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, and we're gonna put it into our oil, and we're gonna let it sear on all sides. And yes, we are gonna do each piece individually. I know it's a pain. If you wanna see that this is truly a process, this is from classic French cooking. This is for beef bourguignon. Watch Julia Child, she has her favorite, actually Julia Child's best dish ever is the beef bourguignon. You can check out that recipe on their website for Julia Child. But meanwhile, this is how you start it off. This is what they're talking about when you do the pan searing. Sear it till it's nice and golden brown all the way around, reserve it off to the side, and in our next segment, we will show you how to finish out your stew. I'm Chef Jim White. Thanks for being with us on What's Up, Chefy?